Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today I figured I'd do a quick walk around and update for you guys on the current suspension setup on the first gen Tacoma. It's got some changes that I've made before we moved out to Colorado, and I want to kind of go over the current setup because it still needs some tweaking, but I also learned a couple things along the way that might be beneficial to you guys. So we'll go over the shocks, the rear leafs, the front springs, and then a couple other things that I've added. And hopefully it's gonna help some of you guys out, and maybe you have some insight to help me out with a couple things that need, like I said, tweaking. This is how the truck currently sits. It is on Chevy 63 leaf springs in the rear. It's got Bilstein shocks in the rear. I'll show you up closer some modified shackles. And then up front, I'm running also Bilstein shocks and then also Old Man Emu springs. So when we went to move out to Colorado, I went to go get an alignment just for the long trek, get a fresh alignment. Was told that my lower control arm bushings were basically shot. So I ended up replacing those, and in the process, one of my front Bilstein shocks completely exploded on me. And I'm not sure if that was a manufacturer defect or if I messed something up along the way. I try not to use power tools on the shocks because I know that can loosen the inner rod from the actual compressed shock portion. So there's a chance, I mean, I had those old Bilsteins for quite a few years, made a lot of adjustments on them. So there's a chance it was my bad, but regardless, I just ordered two new front shocks. And while I was at it, I actually upgraded the Old Man Emu springs. So we have a Bilstein shock up front. I'll put the part number down in the description. And then these are the Old Man Emu 2882 springs. And then I've also got some JBA upper control arms, which help get the alignment correct with this lift, which is about a 2.5-inch lift, I would say, front and rear at this point. I'm also running a 1-inch body lift kit on this. When I bought the truck back in 2019, the last owner had a 3-inch body lift kit, which was just entirely useless and honestly looked terrible. Instead of going back to just factory, basically no body lift, factory body mounts, I decided to keep a 1-inch body lift, and I'm pretty glad I did. It honestly helps me clear these 33s a bit better, and it also makes just working on the truck kind of nice. Like, you have that 1-inch extra space, you know, across the entire truck to just work on things. So I'll show you kind of up close, but you know, when I was tucking wiring for the camper and all that, you can see the 1-inch, maybe the 1-inch body spacer right there. It just gives you literally that much room to just do stuff. And I can't complain about it. The reason I went to a 2882 spring up front on the Old Man Emus, I had 288Os before, is I eventually want to put a 2 bumper on this with a winch. And the 2882s are not only a taller spring by about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, they're actually taller than or longer than the 288Os, but they're a heavier duty spring. So it's going to be able to handle the weight of the 2 bumper as well as a winch and anything else I want to add to the front of the truck. It'll just help with keeping the ride height correct after adding the weight, if that makes sense. So I should have gone with the 2882s initially. I ran the 288Os for maybe 2 years or so, and they were great. And if you have, like, you know, a stock body truck you don't want to change the front end on, they're awesome springs. And I actually am selling mine, so if you want some 288Os, I'll cut you a really good deal on them. The rear has been modified with Chevy 63 leaf springs. If you aren't familiar, it's a very, very common leaf spring swap on old Toyota pickups, as well as these first-gen Tacomas. It's a much longer spring, and it comes off of, like, a ton of Chevy trucks. It's half-ton Chevy trucks from, like, I want to say it's like 96 to up to like 2008 or something like that. You can correct me down in the comments because I'm sure that's not totally accurate, but they came on a ton of trucks. And they're half-ton leaf springs, so they handle the weight of the camper really nicely. And when I first installed them, you do have to weld on new spring perches, so it actually moves this mounting point back this way, and then this one also gets moved a little bit, but not a ton. And then I'm running a 4-inch shackle Now, when I first got these or installed these, the shackles that I had bought were 6-inch, and that honestly helps with articulation for the truck, but it sat so dang high in the rear that I ended up taking out the overload leaf on each leaf pack. So this bottom leaf here that is really designed to keep the leaf springs from overarching negatively. I figured with the lighter weight of a Tacoma versus a half-ton Chevy truck, it would have no problem, taking out the overload leaf, which dropped the back of the truck down, which matched the front ride height pretty well. And I ran that setup for quite a while as well. I had no issues with it, but after putting the 2882 springs on, the front actually lifted up another maybe inch. And so instead of putting the 6-inch shackles back on, I just decided to add the overload leaves back. One, peace of mind to keep the leaf packs from negatively arching, but then also between the move and the weight of the camper, I think it works nicely. And if you can tell, the rear arch looks like it sits higher than the front, but the truck sits quite level. And I know I'm kind of off-road right now and not on perfectly level pavement, so it may be hard to see it, but what I kind of look at is the line of the truck here, not necessarily the arches. So I guess where I'm parked right now, it almost looks like it noses down a hair, but it's pretty nice. It drives great. And the Chevy leaves flex a ton, so great for off-roading, but also they're heavier duty leaf packs. So that's been great for the weight of the GFC and then all my camping gear that goes in it. Plus when we moved, had a ton of stuff in the back. And then I do need to still add a actual spare tire, because right now all I have is a freaking spare wheel, which is pretty useless. But that will also add, another probably 30 or 40 pounds for that tire. So that will drop the back end of the truck a hair as well. So just wanted to be able to overbuild the back suspension and, go lesser if I needed to, but there's a ton of flexibility with these, not literally the flex of the springs, but being able to take out leaves, change the shackle lengths, all that stuff. So the Chevy Leafs I'm very happy with, and I think the truck just rides super nice now. One of the things that I should have done a long time ago and just got around to doing was adding a diff drop kit. So you can see those bright silver 1-inch spacers that drops the front differential down by 1 inch and gets the CV angles a little bit nicer. They're really not bad now at all. So I should have taken measurements before and after. I didn't, but the diff drop is such a cheap modification. I think probably paid like $35 for it. And it's just made the front CV axles sit a lot more straight instead of being at such a harsh angle. So it's going to put a lot less wear and tear on those CV axles over the time. What else have I done? I should mention, since I put the 2882 springs on, again, I raised the front up a little bit, put the overload leaves back on, raised the back up a little bit. It probably sits about an inch taller than the 2880s and the leaf packs without the overload leaf. And I do get a hair of driveline vibration, unfortunately. So I do have some center carrier bearing spacers that I've used in the past as I've been tweaking stuff, and they do help. So I may add that back in as a temporary fix, but honestly, I think the better thing to do would be to add, I forget what they're called, but they're kind of like wedges that you put underneath the leaf packs that kind of correct the angle of the rear differential or the rear axle. And that should help as well, but you got to do some maths and figure out, what size wedge you need, more specifically, what angle wedge you need, and that should help as well. But that's what I'm curious about what your guys' experience has been on that with driveline vibration on a lifted first gen. Like I said, I've done the center carrier bearing drop. I don't think it's the most ideal way to do it because it also throws the front, what would that be called? It throws the front drive shaft out of whack from the transmission. So not only does it makes everything a little bit more in line going to the rear, but it also comes off the transmission at a steeper angle instead of being straight off like it came from the factory. So that's why I don't think it's an ideal setup, but I've always had, good issues, or not good issues. I've always had good experience with it. It's never caused any issues long-term that I'm aware of. Maybe it'll cause the, what are they called? The U-joints to possibly wear out faster. So definitely want to hear what your guys' experience is with fixing driveline vibration on a lifted Tacoma, because I want to do it the right way. I don't want to, you know, half-ass it. So that, I think, is the setup. Outside of that, like I mentioned, the JBA upper control arms, which add a bunch of clearance from the spring to the tire when you're flexing, and then also gives you some adjustability there when you're going to get an alignment, which is quite nice that the factory upper control arms don't provide. So that is the setup right now, and I'm very happy with it. I think I'd love one day to go solid axle up front. I know I would love to do that, but not on the cards at the moment. I think the next thing I want to do on this truck is add 2 bumpers to the front and rear. The front, I managed to actually flush up with the body so you don't have a 1-inch gap on the front bumper, but you do have it on the rear bumper. There's no real way to modify the rear bumper, at least not in the amount of effort I want to do to get the stock bumper to, you know, tighten up there to the tailgate. So I really want to do 2 bumpers. I'm out in Colorado if anybody builds them and wants to work together, and, you know, let me know. That'd be sick. I'd love to get 2 bumpers on the front and rear, and then I guess eventually do some, not rockers, but oh, I'm totally drawing a blank on the name of them, but the sides. Oh my gosh, it's driving me nuts. But that go underneath the rockers here and keep you from getting body damage on the side. Rock sliders, geez Louise, love to do rock sliders as well. So if anybody out there builds off-road 2 bumpers, and it would have to be kind of custom because of the body lift. I've thought about just ordering, you know, ones from pre-made ones from companies, but they are all not accounting for the 1-inch body lift, at least most of them. So it wouldn't, it would still have a gap, unfortunately. So I'd love to just find somebody who, you know, I can support locally, make some content with, and get some 2 bumpers built for this truck, and then we can put a winch on, and that's the plan. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the setup, what you guys have done to your first gens in a similar fashion, and again, if anybody has any tips on the driveline situation, let me know. One other important thing I forgot to mention on the front shocks, this is going to be maybe a little difficult to show you, but the actual spring perch is adjustable on these. So you can take the C-clip out and adjust. There's 3 points of adjustment on these Bilstein shocks, and you can raise it up or basically add preload. I'm running these on the lowest setting just because I believe Bilstein says the actual adjustment to go higher is if you're running the factory springs, whereas I'm not. I'm running heavier duty, taller springs. So running it on the lowest setting on that perch is ideal. Just a thing I almost forgot to mention. And then I also forgot to mention that the shop that I had do my welding for the Chevy 63s had to weld on new tabs for the rear shocks. Super easy job if you can weld, which I can't, unfortunately, but figured I'd mention that the rear shocks had to be, the shock tabs had to be relocated on the rear axle. Bit of a quick video today, but I just wanted to get out here and, well, one, I've been wheeling out here. It's just so much fun. It's beautiful. But I also wanted to get out here and update you guys as well as myself where I'm at with the suspension, what's working, what's not. And it's currently February of 2026. So that is how it sits. If you guys enjoyed this video or got, you know, some information out of it that might help you in the future, let me know down in the comments. Also leave a thumbs up. And if you're new here, think about subscribing and make a bunch of truck camping content. Just moved out to Colorado from Tennessee, and we're going to be starting our, house build on our property here, hopefully in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys so much for being here. Love you all. Keep elevating. I'll see you in the next one.